Subscribe now. EU Debates.
Dear Prime Minister of Ukraine, dear Mateusz, dear Magdalena, dear Ursula, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank both Magdalena and Mateusz for organizing this event. Here in Poland, you have built a massive solidarity operation hosting more than 3 million Ukrainian refugees and acting as a hub to support Ukrainians within Ukraine. And Sweden, dear Magdalena, Sweden has always done more than its share in supporting refugees and being a steady friend to Ukraine. I'd like to personally thank you and your citizens for that. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, several weeks ago, with President Zelenskyy, we discussed the idea of a Solidarity Trust Fund to support Ukraine, and at our last European Council meeting in March, we decided to create this Solidarity Fund. And this is a concrete expression of our commitment to Ukraine together with the help and support of external donors. And our solidarity efforts will focus on 3 key areas: humanitarian support, short-term liquidity needs, and reconstruction. And we must act now to address the immediate suffering of the Ukrainian people, both in and outside Ukraine. That's why priority number 1 is to raise money for this humanitarian action. There is another urgent need. This is liquidity. Ukraine needs significant funding to keep the state running, roughly €5 billion per month according to the IMF. We have mobilized and disbursed macro-financial assistance to our friends and together with our friends and partners. But we must not be complacent. We must do much more to deliver practical support now, immediately, to make sure that nurses, doctors, teachers can be paid at time and Ukraine can continue to function. And finally, I'd like to send a personal message of hope and encouragement to all Ukrainians, to the soldiers on the ground, to all the Ukrainians supporting the war effort, and to the millions who have fled the war and longed for their homes. We will help to rebuild your country and your economy, your homes, schools, hospitals, businesses. The future of a safe and prosperous Ukraine, combining reconstruction funding with the necessary reforms. And it is not just a long-term theoretical vision. Reconstruction starts today. Dear friends, the cornerstone of our Solidarity Trust Fund is precisely the word trust. We trust Ukraine. And our efforts here today reflect this trust. Together, we will rebuild a modern, prosperous and democratic Ukraine, a country full of confidence and ready to embrace its European future and its place in our common European family. We must also make sure that we get the most out of every euro, and the EU is best placed to support your efforts to link reconstruction with the reforms that will transform Ukraine, and we support Ukraine in its choice of the European path. The people of Ukraine, talented, capable and hardworking, you know best what your citizens need in your towns and regions, and will be right by your side to offer practical, concrete and operational expertise and our full support. And that's why we fully embrace President Zelenskyy's ambitious vision for a modern, forward-looking Ukraine that engages grassroots leaders and citizens alike. And his concept to partner EU cities and regions with Ukrainian cities and regions is an excellent idea because it will breathe new life into areas traumatized by war. As we approach Europe Day on May 9th, a day to remember peace and unity after the horrors of World War II, we are also reminded of the Marshall Plan that helped to revive Europe and get economies back on their feet after the devastation of war. And today, as we again see the ravages of war on European soil in Ukraine, I firmly believe, the Solidarity Trust Fund can be and must be the starting point of a European Marshall Plan for this century, an engine of solidarity for the renewal and reconstruction of Ukraine, for the prosperity of Europe, and for the transatlantic alliance. Ladies and gentlemen, dear Prime Minister of Ukraine, dear Denis, allow me to end on a more personal note. During my last visit to Ukraine in Borodianka, I visited a small park with a statue of a famous Ukrainian poet, Taras Shevchenko. Russian soldiers put bullets in the head of this statue. They try to execute the Ukrainian poet, just like they are trying to execute Ukraine. But they've not succeeded, and they will not succeed. The statue is still there, standing proudly, a defined symbol, just as Ukraine continues to stand proudly, defined, indestructible, unbreakable. And we, the EU, together with all our friends, we are with you. You are not alone. Thank you.